Good evening, boys. Andy Rice in Stanford, Texas. I apologize, I got a little head cold or something going on. But tonight's poem is called Hall of Famer. And if you've been in the cattle shipping and receiving business in mass or in volume, then there's a pretty good chance you ran across the man that's the main focal point of this poem and his truck. And that's old Peterbilt Pete and old Alfalfa. And I got to tell you, and I should mention for those that don't know, he passed just here not too long ago, and it was rough on all them boys that have known him for years. But I'm not going to say it was rough on me, but I was there. We just loaded the man like a week and a half before he passed, and got to visit with him then, and I sure am proud I had that opportunity before he did decide to move on to bigger and better things. But this poem, and not because I wrote it, but this is probably the best poem that I've written, and it wasn't because of me. It's because of Moon Pie on here, Pete's protege. He rallied a bunch of the troops, and I said, boys, if we're going to write one, I'm going to need some help. And by God, I don't know. I stopped counting, I think, at 40, 50, 60 of them. I don't know. But he got us a little old communication string going, and I got to read some of the best stories that I've ever heard in my life. And we collaborated for a week or two here, and tonight's poem is what we all collectively, thanks to Moon Pie, we put together here. I took all their stuff and I basically just bundled it, I guess, for lack of a better term. So there's a lot of bull haulers and cattle wagon engineers out there that contributed to this poem, and it's a pretty damn good collaboration effort. Everybody, I mean, just as good as gold, working with all these boys on this deal. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of it. And so for you folks that knew Peterbilt Pete, and Moon Pie and them are holding a memorial service on June 28th, 11 through 4, over in Palapena at the Sheriff's Posse Arena in Mineral Wells. And encourage all of you to come out. And we'll give to you tonight what we all put together this last week or two. I think it's pretty damn good. Called Hall of Famer. Much of the world didn't know that a legend lived in their midst. Old Peterbilt Pete, king of the bull haulers, a 78-year-old cowboy who damn sure didn't know the word quit. Well, I met him one day standing by the pens and leaning on the gates while the other fellows were bringing up a load of those wild bovine inmates. Old Pete shook my hand, and hell, he lit up a smoke. Boys, after 5 minutes talking, I felt like family, and hell, I started laughing so hard I almost had a damn stroke. He was sure small-framed and wore the smallest pair of boots I'd ever seen around every pen. But by God, when old Pete pulled up, all the boys knew he was a giant among men. Why, old Pete's all them fats and crazy South Texas crosses and Mexican cattle and everything in between. There ain't a damn stretch of highway he didn't own, and not too much he hadn't seen. He'd tell all them up-and-comers, cow hauler only has 3 friends in this old life: good weather, back roads, boys, and the darkened nights becomes your second wife. When old Pete was making them miles in that slick old KW rig, those swift steering wheel holders would see old Alfalfa, and hell, they all knew they had a bad gig. Pete and his compadre Alfalfa been running together since 1983 with that West Texas 10-speed and plenty of horses, even overloaded. Not much did old Pete ever need. He hailed from country around old El Paso way and saw more of the rough life than most of us will ever know. Old Pete said if a man quits whiskey and cigarettes, well, hell, boys, that's like pulling a fine racehorse out of the show. Whenever things got bad or life got tough on any one given day, old Pete'd say 100 years from now, no one will remember, son, and hell, none of it matters anyways. Now, I'm sure that man truly believed what he said about them 100 years. But I know Peterbilt Pete and Alfalfa will be forever remembered. And as long as mankind is still shifting gears. Have a good evening. Come over to Middle Wales on the 28th. See ya.